Hey y'all, so I just wanted to come at y'all with an encouraging word. Something pretty cool happened this past weekend at work. Um, and if y'all know by now, God can speak to me through just about anything. A squirrel can cross the road and I've got a sermon. But so I work nights. So I was actually getting off. It was about 1 in the morning, 1:30, 1:15 or so. And I made it all the way home. Made it all the way home, and then a coworker texted me and was like, "Hey, do you have any jumper cables?" And I'm like, "Dang." And honestly, at the moment, I didn't know if I still had them in my car or not. So I actually pulled over, checked my trunk, and they were still in there. So I was like, yeah, I actually do have them. Well, no, I texted him back and I said, hold on, I just got home because I had just literally just made it home. And I told him, I said, yeah, give me a second, let me check. I just made it home. And he was like, oh, well, never mind. If you just made it home, don't worry about it. And I said, no, it's cool. I'm on my way. And I went back to work, literally just made it home, and I'm headed back to work. And I'm telling y'all, I was tired that night, dog tired. But the only thing in my heart was I was just grateful to be able to give back. I was so grateful to be able to return the favor because number one, I know the feeling. Number two, it's happened to me several times, and I've never wanted to ask for help. It's always been difficult for me to ask for help, but um, that was the only thing that I could really feel in my heart was just I'm so excited that I get to return the favor despite how tired I am. My life is not my own. I'm a vessel. And even in the small things, sometimes where you feel like maybe you can't be the biggest giver at church, or you can't give the biggest funds when y'all have programs, but you can give your time. You can give your patience. You can give advice. You can give fellowship. There's other ways to achieve that. And so I got there. It took less than 15 minutes, the whole thing, going back and then making it back home. And he was so grateful. He was like, "Hey, man, you know what? I'll get you some cash or whatever. I'm so grateful. You're a lifesaver." I said, "No, no, 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 no. Please don't do that. I'm not the lifesaver. You must have me confused with Jesus because he's the only lifesaver." But it just really dawned on me because he was so adamant about, no, no, I gotta repay you. That was just awesome. You didn't have to do it, blah, 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 blah. And he's right. I didn't have to do it, but he doesn't have to repay me for anything. And that is the biggest lesson that I've learned, I would say, so far in this season of my life, is that as Christians, we feel like responsible and feel like we owe. It was a huge eye opener for me. You would think I was a baby Christian just finding out this information, but I really struggled with the thought or the idea of salvation. I felt like, a lot of times where I feel like I let God down, even though I'm not great enough, I'm not big enough to even hold him up. But it was a struggle for me to accept that I have flaws and I'm going to fail, and thinking that because of my failures, it would affect my destiny, it would affect my purpose, it would affect God's love for me, it would affect the great things, the blessings, the outpourings, the breakthroughs that He has predestined for me. And that's absolutely not the case. So I want to encourage those of you who might have that mindset, or those of you who might struggle with that on a day-to-day. You know the truth, but it's still difficult. It's still easier said than done. And on my way back home the second time, that's all I could think about was he wanted to pay me back. And how many times in my life do I want to pay Jesus back? Do I want to pay God back? Do I want to just make up for everything that they've done for me? Dying for me? Like, even if it was just me, he still would have done it on that cross. Even if it was just you, whoever's watching, he still would have done it, because that's what love is. And it just blew my mind. It just blew my mind. So he was adamant about repaying, and I'm like, just let a blessing be a blessing. You know, I'm happy to have done it. You don't owe me anything just because I did this. I'm not the type of person I'm going to hold that over your head. Even though in situations in my own life, I felt like I was responsible to pay someone back when they helped me, because I felt internally that they were holding something over me, or that they had something. They had one up on me because they helped me, because they helped me out in a time of need. That's not the mentality to have. So be encouraged, y'all. I just wanted to share that because it was too great a message just to keep bottled up inside and just be looking around smiling like, wow, God, just keep that to myself. I had to share that and let y'all know that you don't have to try to make up for everything. Sometimes just let a blessing be a blessing. Sometimes just say thank you. Sometimes just accept that you need help and let it be that. You don't it's just in our human nature to give and then receive, to take and then to give. Just it's a cycle that's unfortunately been created since the beginning of time, but there's nothing that we can do to ever repay Jesus Christ. We can't. We can spend our lives in its entirety trying to devote everything we have to him, but at the end of the day, that tab will never be paid. It will never be paid. So just rest in that. Rest in your humanity and God's sovereignty. That what he did was by choice, knowing that we would never be able to repay it. And you can either allow that to be frustrating, or you can allow it to be a blessing. Just rest in that. Just be calm, cool, and collected in that. And with that, I pray that it does encourage you. And y'all enjoy y'all's beautiful day. Love you.